This is one of the important herb, that is Rauwolfia serpentina. Earlier it was the only source of that medicine for blood pressure. Before then they synthesized it in the factories and lab and started making it. So it's no longer needed for that blood pressure medicine, but that chemical was first isolated from this plant. And it's called sarpagandha. It has a lot of properties in our Indian medicinal system. It's a long-lived plant. That life of the plant is in the root over there. There will be one thick root stalk there, and so underneath the life will be there, and the plant itself is quite small. It can go up to some little bushy formation, about 1 feet, 1.5 feet maximum, and then flowers are red to pink to white. A little bit variation is there during the course of the day. And little bit I'll tell about this chemical properties and all. Normally in the nature, single chemical won't be there. It will be there along with a bunch of similar structured alkaloids and such things, whatever that herbal part. So, for example, in this I think there is something called Rauwolfia or something. Rauwolfia or some alkali or one of those medicinal chemicals. Reserperine, I think it's called. Anyway, with a similar chemical structure but mild variations, some few arrangement of atoms and molecules and one or two elements may be different. So bunch of the similar chemicals will be there, and each one will have some distinctive further characteristic. So studying all that takes a long time. In this Rauwolfia serpentina, probably a couple of thousand chemicals will be there in the root and all that. That root is the medicinal part. And so to study all of them one by one for the potential, the things takes a lot of time. And saving all this type of plants in your gardens, you will be helping to conserve a rare species that is vanishing in the wild. Because if there is any cultivation happens, this one gets destroyed. Since the life is in the root of that plant, if you plow it or dig it, that root gets uprooted, it will die. So surface weeding is all right. Like here, they chop the weeds, that Congress grass, that one, which is the worst pest this area, and large parts of India now. So anyway, that one is chopped. So this one also would have got a little bit chopped, but it has regrown because the root was intact. We didn't dig it with a tiller or some tractor or something like that. So in a no digging garden, it will survive on its own. And after this flowering is over, black fruits will come, which the birds will eat and spread. So if you have a couple of these plants in your garden, birds will eat that fruits and spread it around, so that it will start growing on its own in the surrounding area wherever there is a suitable location. So rewilding also happens when you grow them in your own little garden. It's easy to grow, it doesn't get any disease and all. It requires a couple of hours of sunlight. That's all. Not complete shade, partial. And then some nice dark soil like this, forest floor soil. In this kind of soil, to get this kind of darkness in the soil, you'll need about 3-4% carbon minimum, carbon content. So rich dark soil is there, it will survive the summer and all, because the sufficient moisture will be there. And they can be grown in the edges of gardens and all. You can't put it in a full sun. And in bigger pots also it can be grown. So this is that Rauwolfia serpentina. I have explained why it should be saved, because these plants contain lot of more potential for human use and etc. And then ecologically important and rare also. Looks also beautiful. The flowers are pretty nice. And fruits are eaten by the birds and all, and that helps to spread them around. And they're a nice native species. It's worth spending 300 or 1000 or whatever it costs to acquire these plants rather than something that has no meaning or relevance in your area. These are all the natural inhabitants of our Karnataka and many other parts of India also.